So welcome to the Searching in San Diego show, the official podcast of the San Diego Metro Region Career Centers, operated by KRA Corporation, where we cover workforce tips, topics, and trends you need to know on the go. I'm your host, Diana Saldivar, and today with me I have the beautiful and wonderful, talented Director of Programs, Aviva Paley from Kitchens for Good. Welcome, Aviva.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being our guest today. I know the Career Center and Kitchens for Good have kind of partnered up within the last year to kind of help each other, with our community and putting them back to work. And I know just a few months ago you just celebrated your first inaugural cohort from graduating. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our career agents were able to attend. I heard someone crying because they had some really good stories there. I'm sad I missed that. But I heard it was a very emotional moment for many of the graduates there. I know that Kitchens for Good focuses on serving, hard to serve population, like ex-offenders, those who've aged out of the foster program and stuff. Yeah. So could you tell me before all of these wonderful things happened, how did Kitchens for Good even get started?
Yeah, sure. So at Kitchens for Good, we started with a pretty simple idea around food waste and hunger. And originally we were thinking, as some of you may know, we waste a tremendous amount of food in America. We waste almost 40% of all food produced in the United States. And that is extremely astonishing when you consider that 1 in 5 in San Diego are food insecure or hungry. And this food is still perfectly edible and delicious, but with some minor cosmetic imperfections. And so we looked at all of this surplus produce and thought, well, what if we could take all of this and turn it into really healthy and nutritious meals for the communities that need it most? And as we started planning around this idea, myself and Chuck Samuelson, the founder, we started realizing that no matter how many meals we prepared, even if we prepared 1,000 meals a day, we were never going to solve hunger in San Diego with meals. Because people that are waiting in food lines, they don't want food. They want jobs that they can have the means and the self-sufficiency and economic opportunity so that they're able to realize their full potential. And so we really changed the model to look at the cause of hunger, which is poverty. And so our culinary job training program was born to help lift people out of poverty and help them launch their careers in the culinary and hospitality industry. So now we offer an intensive 13-week culinary job training program for hard-to-serve populations. And during that program, our students learn all of their culinary skills by taking a lot of surplus food, turning it into healthy and nutritious meals for the hunger relief community that's served to families in need across San Diego. And then at the base of all that, we knew we didn't want to be your typical nonprofit coming back to funders year after year saying, we call it the Oliver Twist model of saying, please, sir, can I have some more? And so we wanted to be as self-sufficient ourselves as possible. So we developed a social enterprise model in everything we do, where we build businesses and enterprise into our kitchen that generate revenue to support our programs and create job opportunities for the graduates of our programs. So our main enterprise here at the Jacobs Center is our catering and events, and we do about 500 catered events a year. We started here at the Jacobs Center in September 15th of last year, and we went from a staff of 2 to 36 overnight. It was quite a takeoff, and we've been really fortunate to just continue to grow, and we generate about 75% of our operating budget through catering and events, so we're really able to support our program and create great job opportunities for our graduates of our culinary school.
That is amazing. So you just started looking at one issue and really looking into what the core problem was and taking that and launching this program based off of what you found. Now, how did you find that poverty was the underlying issue?
Yeah, I think there's a lot more understanding now in the hunger relief community that while hunger relief is so critically important, we need to address the most immediate needs. But there's this understanding now that people are even if we increase the amount of food that we're distributing, the food lines aren't getting any shorter. People are not getting any less hungry because it's not going to be solved by food alone. So I think it was a large realization from where the food banks and hunger relief communities have been going in the past 20, 30 years to see that we're not our dent in hunger is not really expanding with the more food we distribute. And the real difference we can make is through job training and getting people to work.
That's great. That's great that you kind of saw the different cycles and you this is kind of like something you're pioneering. It was a little bit different than just having a food bank or things like that.
Definitely new in San Diego, and there's a bunch of really incredible national models that we've really learned a lot from. DC Central Kitchen, LA Kitchen, our board member is the founder of those two. And so we've been really fortunate to get a lot of incredible information from tried and tested organizations.
So what inspired you to start Kitchens for Good?
You know, I think a lot of people in our generation, when they finish school or are looking at careers, there's kind of an option between a .com or a .org. You know, you're working for the man or you're working for the people. And I was, having worked for both, I was really dissatisfied with that two separate approaches. I feel like we can make the biggest difference when there's financial power at stake. And so Kitchens for Good really combines that. We're trying to run like a business, but we can have a huge impact through business. We can change people's lives through a paycheck.
Oh, that's great. I mean, not a lot of, I see how there's the dynamic of, like you said, the .com, .org, you know, you got the nonprofits on one side and then you got the business on the other that want to make a profit, but how do you kind of blend those together? This is kind of like the perfect
We're a hybrid,
So for Kitchens for Good, what kind of programs and services are available? Because you said one of them was a catering program. The other one was the job, what do you call it, work readiness programs and stuff. So what are those two programs, and then what other things do you provide in Kitchens for Good?
So we have a couple core programs. First is the sourcing of food program. So we work with a lot of local farmers and wholesale companies to get all of that surplus produce, and that's Project Reclaim. And then we take that produce and turn it into healthy and nutritious meals, which is our Project Nourish program. And then those meals are prepared by students in our culinary job training program who are launching their careers in the culinary industry, which is our Project Launch program. And then at the base of all that is our Project Kitchen, which is our social enterprise program, which really encompasses a couple different revenue generating activities. So we do catering and events. We also do contract meal services for senior centers. And we also are launching a retail product line as well to be sold at farmers markets. Yeah.
That's really cool to be at a farmers market. So it all looks like it's pretty much the typical farm to table type of, what do we call it? Strategy that San Diego has been kind of moving towards. And that's great that you're able to take a surplus of that the farmers have. You know, it's not completely all going to waste. You're being able to use it for something much more productive.
And we definitely funnel a lot of that into our meals for hunger relief agencies. And we still have to buy a lot of, you know, local produce for our catering and events. But it's a nice hybrid where we can meet a lot of double bottom lines by just through a kitchen.
Oh, that's great. It's like you're helping folks throughout so many aspects of, you know, this process. I love it. And then, you talked about the culinary training, the culinary job training program, and it's kind of to help folks get back into the workforce. Why do you feel like it's necessary for this program to exist?
Oh, there's so many reasons, both from the societal side, from the student side, and from the employer side. So the primary populations that we work with are youth aging out of foster care and formerly incarcerated individuals and victims of domestic violence. And among these populations, unemployment rates are sky high. For foster youth, they're as high as 40%, and the chance of them going to prison is 50%. For people returning from prison, unemployment rates are up to 60 to 70%. And what this ends up doing is it creates much higher rates of recidivism of people going back to prison. It creates a drain on our social services, and it's not helping anyone for these people to not be working. And so our program really helps them relaunch their lives. We really believe in second chances here, that if you're willing to work hard and be motivated to do it, you can really remake your life through working in a kitchen. And then on the other side, from the employer standpoint, here in San Diego and actually across America, there is a huge shortage of cooks to fill all of the open positions.
I didn't know that.
There is a huge shortage. So if you talk to any chef in San Diego, they will tell you that they cannot find enough cooks to work in their kitchen. And so at this point, I just got off the phone where we're getting daily phone calls from chefs cold calling us to see if we have any cooks that can come work in their kitchen. So there's a huge demand, and the chefs are seeing from our first 2 graduating class that our students are really competent. And because of not only the culinary skills we teach them, but the all-around work readiness, soft skills that we teach them, they're really incredible employees.
Oh, that's wonderful. I didn't know there was like a big need for chefs in San Diego.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So with some of the folks who were in this program, what has been a defining moment for you?
Ooh.
I know that's a good one, huh?
Oh, there's so many every day. You know, I think seeing some of our students get a paycheck for the first time, there is nothing quite like that. And I think that that is what makes me wake up every morning. We have one student that 8 months ago he's a former foster youth, a single parent, and he got involved with gang life. He ended up going to prison for 12 months. And when he was released, his prospects of getting a job, very low. His prospects of ending up back in jail, very high. And we were really fortunate that he was referred to us and entered into our program. He is now working at one of San Diego's top 5 best new restaurants.
Really?
Bracero Cocina. And he's been promoted 4 times from busser to prep cook, line cook, and now expediter. And it's stories like that of seeing people just realize their potential through this with really just, we don't give people, we don't give them a job. We don't give them everything wrapped up in a bow. They really have to work hard for it and take what we're teaching them and really run with it. So when you see people really take advantage of the education we're providing them and just take it so much further, that's just, I mean, that's the ice cream for me. You know, that's
to be able to see where he came from and now how much he's succeeded and taking what he's done here and owning it. It kind of takes ownership of his own, his own future, and he was able to move that. That's such a great story. Yeah. And I know probably with many of the other students that come here, there's so much similar stories like that too.
And that's what you learn, that everyone has a story. And everyone, but what we really try and emphasize here is that their past can stay in the past as soon as they start here at Kitchens for Good. And we are really only concerned with where they go in the future.
Right. It doesn't have to carry around with them.
Exactly.
That's awesome. And so how can people get involved in the program? How can people learn about this? I mean, we learned about you we're down the street from each other. Yeah. But folks who want to get involved in the program, people who want to collaborate with you, or employers who want to be able to hire, how can all of those 3 different populations get involved?
Absolutely. So there's a couple of different ways to get involved, viewers. So there's, of course, if you are among this target population of coming back from prison, victims of domestic violence, or youth aging out of foster care, we strongly encourage you to apply to join our culinary job training program. And if you are an employer interested in hiring one of our graduates, please reach out to us. You can reach out via our website or call us. Call our offices. And then I also strongly encourage people to cater an event with us. That is really how we support ourselves. And we want you to, we're San Diego's catering with a cause option. And our food is just as delicious just as delicious and very well priced. So you can rest assured, though, that it's really making a difference in someone's life when you cater with us.
That's awesome. That's great. And then when's the next start date for the program for folks who want to be a part of the next cohort?
Great question. So we do have a class starting next week on July 13th, and then our next application due date is September 5th for classes starting October 5th.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. And any words of advice for those folks, anyone listening to this podcast that you would like to cover that we haven't been able to cover in the last 15 minutes?
For job seekers?
Job seekers, about the program, anything that you feel that you would like to share about Kitchens for Good?
I would say that one of the most critical things for job seekers and for employers is those soft skills, those communication skills, punctuality skills, how to interact with coworkers in a professional manner. And as an employer and as a trainer, that's really one of the biggest things that we look for. And so having a strong technical base, it's not enough in today's workforce. You really need to be familiar with those soft skills. And so that's something that we really try and emphasize through our culinary program with 2 hours of just professional development, soft skills training a day. And so for any job seekers in any industry, I really strongly recommend pairing those technical skills with those soft skills to be really well employable.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you, Aviva, for your time. I appreciate, your, being able to learn more about Kitchens for Good, what your purpose is, how much you are giving back to the community in so many different ways other than just one. Yeah. No, but thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Great. Well, thanks, folks. That's going to be the end of our podcast. Aviva again. And if you have any questions, shoot us a comment, shoot us a message on Facebook Messenger. You could find them also on Facebook under Kitchens for Good. Take a peek at their photos, some of their catering events. I mean, it's a wonderful program, a wonderful organization, and ways to get involved. Okay? Take care. What trends, topics, or tips do you want to hear about next? We'd love to hear your suggestions. If you have any advice or experiences you'd like to share too, let us know, because sharing is caring. Also, you can listen to this podcast again by downloading our app. You'll never miss an episode, and when you download the app, you'll receive real-time job leads, recruitment information, and other great job tools from us at your fingertips. Thank you for listening to the San Diego Metro Region Career Center's podcast, Searching in San Diego, workforce topics, trends, and tips you need to know on the go. I'm your host, Diana Saldivar, and we hope to see you next time.